Hi, everybody. Jack O'Malley on a soggy Friday. I was out and about today meeting with citizenry, and I had a good time. A lot of nice folks. And as I told them, my mother used to say, on days like this, you won't melt. Get out there. So, or the other was run between the raindrops. So, hey, I want to touch base on a few things. One of the things, and I was chatting with a constituent about this, pardon me. I was chatting with a constituent about this, and because they were mentioning that they watch the videos and really appreciate them, and have since the beginning of this. And one of the things I commented on was, well, here's what I was thinking I'd talk about tonight was, I do these 3 nights a week now. And even like when I was before on the radio, you do a show and you talk about something and then you move forward. Well, not everybody listened on this one particular day. So the topic you talked about, these people don't know what you said. So you have to repeat yourself. And sometimes it's like, well, I already just talked about that. But I also realized that not everybody watches every day. So if I'm repeating something here that you've already heard, bear with me, because there's different people every day, and hopefully some new folks that are tuning in and watching this podcast, this update, this video, whatever it's called, here on my Facebook page. So I just scribbled some notes through the day today, so I wanted to chat with you on some things. One of the questions is, why are the Secretary of State and the Unemployment Insurance Agency offices still closed? Good question. The answer is, to the best of my knowledge, is that the Secretary of State and the people at the UIA don't feel it's safe, or that they don't have the safety protocols in place to allow people to come in. And so they have kept them closed. For safety's sake. That would be I think that the most general response you'd get from both departments. Now, we have, the House has passed legislation that is now over in the Senate, waiting for them to sign it and agree to it, to send to the governor, that would say, okay, here is $5 million. I think it's $3 million to the SOS and $2 million to UIA for PPEs and plastic shields and whatever protocols you need to be able to get these offices open. And you would need to do that by November 30th, giving them approximately a month to get everything in place. So we'll see. Hopefully the Senate passes this out and the governor signs it and they get at it. But that bill is sitting there to move forward. The other thing I posted yesterday on Facebook is UIA does have now an appointment, much like the Secretary of State, where you can call and make an appointment to talk about your issues. And from what I see and understand, they will guarantee it within a week. So my question and my request to you all now is, let me know how that goes. The information is on this Facebook page. If you scroll down, you'll see it. I posted it yesterday. And you click on a link and you can go and set up an appointment to be, I'm assuming on the phone, to talk to a UIA representative. So let me know how that goes. Let's see here. What's next? Oh, I was chatting the other day about the Republican plan. And the idea is you do it regionally and safely. And each county is a different little bubble than any other county. And what's been happening is, if one county here has an issue, the governor and her team paint with a big old wide brush to say, oh, well, now this whole area can't be, and has to fall under these new rules. What we're saying is, if each county can maintain these certain metrics, let them be open. Let them have lighter restrictions, lighter mandates. Well, there's been some people, no mandates, no nothing. Well, here's where I guess I stand on that. And this is somewhere where we have to be smart and not fall into a trap. And that is, our administration has really pitted citizen against citizen. And President FDR, Roosevelt, said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And I think that applies right now. And there's a lot of people that are scared. But we also have to realize that there is a virus. We are headed into the fall. We are seeing numbers creep up, but yet hospitalizations might not be where they were before, but they've even crept up a little bit. The point is this. I don't want to get into all the numbers for a minute, because what happens is everybody's got their stat. This is what this doctor said, this group said. Common sense here. We have a virus, and we have the flu season coming on, and we do have to be careful. Now, we can talk about the fact that the numbers aren't, we don't have the 2 million people dead like they said we were gonna. I get all of that. But the realism is still that we have a problem. So I am not for mandates per se, but I am for guidelines, and I am for common sense. So I do think that regional structure beats statewide structure, or we allow for local flexibility. All right. And I do think that I would not mandate masks. All right. But I do think they make sense in some cases. And I know they're going to say, well, the particles pass through. I get that. I really do. That's why I wouldn't mandate them. But if somebody feels comfortable with them, and I don't mind just slapping it on to go into the grocery store, I wouldn't want to work an 8-hour shift with it. I'll admit that. I really wouldn't. But this is where the common sense has to come in. And so I know there's the no mandates ever crowd. Well, don't fall into that trap, because we're getting that played against us. See, they don't care. We got to realize there's a lot of people in this state with lots of different views. So we've got to find something in the middle that kind of works for everybody. That's why I do not support mask mandates. I do think they should be heavily recommended, though. But I know people can't wear them. I know people won't wear them. Okay? So that's where we're at with that. So I do think we need to have some rules, some guidelines, some curbs, so that we know what we're doing. One of the problems I do have is that with these mandates, we have pitted each other against each other, and that's not good. Our businesses have become the mask police, and that's not good. And again, I don't think that our leadership is really taking care of the whole patient. The other day when I asked, do we know what our Michigan suicide rate is in up to October? Nope, they have no idea. How can you pass rules and guidelines when you don't know the whole patient's problem? And we have a lot of mental illness and anxiety and problems out there. So I regress. So the other thing is, why don't you pull this back? Why don't you run that out? Again, how does this system work? If we pass a law, it isn't a law until the governor signs it. So if we can send all sorts of things up to her, but if she doesn't sign it, it's not a law, right? And that's why you need to work together. The governor can continue down her road of using government agencies now that the Supreme Court has told her that she's been acting unconstitutionally. And like I said, if you didn't hear me say this in the past, I'll say it again. I've talked to several lawyers who've said right now the DHHS rules that they've got in place and the MIOSHA rules are shaky legal. And there will be lawsuits, they assumed, and I'm already starting to see some of those things starting to pop up. So that's, we can squawk and say, you can't do that, Madam Governor. Well, in a theory, she can until the courts say that it's not legal, right? So that's how our system works. You don't like it, but it's the way it is, all right? And the governor knows how to play that system. I mean, that's the way it is. I wish I could say it another way, but she knows how to play the system. So I hope that the governor continues to work with us, or starts to work with us, and she has. She's passed a few of our bills moving forward, one of which she signed our new legislation about nursing homes and taking up the task force recommendations and putting in benchmarks and things there. So good news on that front. I try to give credit where credit is due. She signed it. So again, we're inching forward on that front. On a side note, I was just reading today with some interest that since January, the governor's reelection campaign has taken in $5 million. Guess all those national television appearances have paid off. And, I just say be careful as we move forward here. Don't fall into traps. Again, with this whole mask situation, there are people out there who are scared. And if you're screaming, no, 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 you have every right to scream, no, no, no. But realize that there are people who are scared and now think you are an uncaring piece of wood. All right? So this is where we're at. These are the negotiations. This is the situation we're in. I know, Jack, but I will never. Then don't. Right? Then don't. But don't be surprised if you aren't served at a store, or don't be surprised if something else happens, right? Okay? The other thing, and I stress this again to be careful, watch out, because sometimes I do believe little traps are thrown into the roadway. Our Secretary of State, from what I've looked up, and I have not extensively studied this, but from what I can tell, we have not had a problem with people open carrying firearms into polling places in the last dozen or more years, right? But yet she puts that ban out there. It is now being challenged in court. And Tom Lambert, who is president of Michigan Open Carry, good man, has filed a lawsuit on behalf of his organization. So those things are being fought. My point is, I'll show her, I'll just open carry in there. Don't do it. Nobody's been doing it before. Don't do it now. Because that's, I believe, the trap they want to see how crazy they are. Don't be goaded into doing something you wouldn't normally do. That's where we're at right now. That's that politically charged world we're in. I know that fries some people's bacon, mine too, but we've got to try and maneuver this. When you've got political people in charge, political things happen. And so we have to be very careful with what we do. And I'm sorry you are in that position. I'm sorry we're all in that position. But that's how I see it. And you're going to do what you're going to do. But don't go nutso, all right? Let's stop and think for just a minute. I understand frustrations out there. I really do. Trust me, I do. I mean, I have people I live with and know and love that are frustrated. So you can yell at me and say, Jack, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Just remember, legally, there's only so much that can be done at any one given time, and sometimes the courts have to get involved. That's how it works, and that doesn't happen fast. And override her with a veto. Okay, you get the Democratic side of the aisle to go against their governor. You write those letters. You tell me when you know you got those votes, and I'll push an override. Get my point? All right. So just trying to bring some common sense, clarity. Again, you can agree or disagree with me. I'm just telling you how I see it. All right? And that's how I see it on a Friday night. I hope it helps. I'm there for you. We're working on it. Okay? So hopefully we don't float away. We're getting a lot of rain. Those lake levels are already high. I don't know if we need a whole lot more. All right, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.